Today on Here for the Right Reasons, Charity Lawson talks falling in love with multiple men.
It is definitely possible. Something I actually did not think was going to ever happen.
Plus, Charity talks Brayden, and Sean Booth gets candid about his split with Kaitlyn, and there's a new Bachelor Nation baby. We got that plus so much more on today's Here for the Right Reasons. Hey guys, Christina Garibaldi here with Us Weekly Deputy Editor Sarah Heron, and welcome to week 3 of The Bachelorette. We're seeing some connections forming and some villains emerging.
We are. It's definitely still the Brayden show.
Yes, still the Brayden
it's
show.
hard to say whether it's Charity's show or Brayden's show at this point. Is my big takeaway.
Yeah, so we always have that early season villain, and he is definitely it. All right, but before we get into it, see what you guys had to say about week 1. We took a little break last week because scheduling things, but we're back. So we had to see what you guys said about week 1. Agala says, Here for the Right Reasons is back. Yay. Thank you for the recap. It doesn't feel like Charity's husband is in this group of guys. Best cast ever. One of the guys, the one she did not keep, who was leaving last, was super cute. It's a pity that she did not get a chance to meet every guy, so she automatically eliminated them. I hope she finds her guy, though. I'm sure night 1 is so difficult, though, because there's just so many moving parts, and it's got to be very overwhelming. So she can't talk to everybody, but yeah, I don't know. After this week, I see definitely some connections with some of the guys.
I kind of feel like she's got connections with the wrong guys, though, because it's Brayden and it's Aaron B, and they're both kind of the worst, but we'll get there.
I know.
Joanne said, Charity is a pistol, full of fun and personality. She kind of reminds me of Kaitlyn, spunky and kooky and differently beautiful. I like a lot of the guys. Spencer is quite the character, funny and sweet. Joey is cute, and Aaron is adorable and seems really into her. But from the previews, he may be a villain. The wrestler cowboy is hot. It does seem like most of the guys are really sweet and handsome.
I like Joey. I think Joey is cute. The guy that she did, the kissing contest with.
Yes.
But I don't know.
He definitely seems to be like a pure one to root for now. Whereas, as we're going to get into the next comment, the Aaron B tides are changing quick.
Totally. Yeah. Another user says, no way Aaron B wins. Him and Brayden will self-destruct with their rivalry. San Diego men on this show just kind of douchey.
I love that.
Or at least seems like it.
Wait, that's also so funny because with the Aaron B of it all, obviously last week when we weren't here, he got the first one-on-one date.
Yes.
And I saw on Bachelor Data, Susanna, who runs Bachelor Data on Instagram, said she did the data going back to Ali Fedotowsky season in 2010. And the person who got the first date on The Bachelorette has never won.
Interesting. That is a fun fact. I love that. Well, yep, sorry, Aaron B. Get your bags packed. It's time for you to go. All right. Well, moving on to Charity, because she opened up to the Hollywood Reporter about Brayden's behavior, telling the publication, it's been very surprising to watch back. I'm one person, so it's impossible to be everywhere and have eyes and ears on everything. So to see, obviously, him vocalize certain things and then the conversations with the men, I wasn't expecting that. So definitely was taken aback from it. When I think about how our connection was night 1, it makes me feel funny. She also talked about her record-breaking kiss with Joey, says it definitely was something that I was incredibly mindful of. Even just being up there, I was thinking of that in my head. I was obviously trying to give space and honor Joey in that moment. But then I also was very mindful and trying to think of, okay, the guys are having to watch this too. That has to suck. But then again, it's one of those situations, not much control over. So for the guys, my best advice would have been just close your eyes. We love when a good record-breaking moment on The Bachelorette.
I know. I kept saying last week when I did it on the podcast version of Here for the Right Reasons, I was like, them doing these challenges or these group dates or whatever over and over again. I think they think they're doing something like, oh, we've got a franchise here. But to me, it was like, oh, we have no creativity.
We have no
doing the same thing. So I didn't love it. And with the kiss in front of everyone, it kind of makes Joey a target, and the guys were kind of bummed about it, but they didn't really come for him. So that again shows good things about Joey, right? The way Brayden, when he got the attention, or Sean, who this week, when he got the attention and kind of bragged about it, and they were kind of coming down on Sean, it's like, oh, we maybe don't like him, but Joey handled it in a weird situation. They were happy for him. So that was at least shows good sportsmanship on their part, but it's setting them up to fail by having them do these kisses in front of people.
Yes. No, it definitely does. Like you said, there's now a target on his back. People don't like the PDA in front of the group dates but that wasn't really Joey's fault. He was kind of thrust into that situation. But yeah, it is interesting. Charity is changing her mind about Brayden now, watching it back, because she doesn't see everything that goes on. And, he clearly was one person to her and one person to everybody else.
Yes, we'll get into the episode further in just a second, but we did have a little news. Sean Booth, he got candid about his split from Kaitlyn Bristowe, while also admitting that he doesn't love when the former Bachelorette opens up about their past. He has a podcast now, and he said, when we had broken up, the last time I saw her, I was like, I don't ever want to talk to you or see you ever again. I said that out of like the situation that happened and how I found out about everything and where it was and kind of left off. So I didn't really have any communication with her for years. He admitted that the way Kaitlyn moved on with Jason Tartick, whom she went public with in January of 2019, was the issue. He said, quote, the reason I said that, hey, I don't want to talk anymore, I don't want to see you, is because when we were going through this together, I knew about Jason and Kaitlyn before anyone knew about Jason and Kaitlyn. I had known about this before the world knew about it. And I knew about it, unfortunately, when I was sending Kaitlyn a text message, she sent me back one that she was supposed to send to Jason. Thanks. He said the text mix-up happened right when they called it quits. For those who don't remember, obviously, Kaitlyn and Jason are still together. They got engaged. Kaitlyn has talked about Sean a little bit over the years. You know, she has a podcast she's asked about all the time. And he actually reached out to her recently and said that he didn't want her to talk about him anymore, which he admitted was being, contradictory because he was doing it on his podcast. But he said, I just didn't think what she was saying was accurate. I think she was saying things that were incorrect. I know what happened. I know how everything went down. She can say what she wants to say if that's something that makes her feel better or something that she has to discuss. You know, she's an open book. She's told me that, which I understand. And sometimes it's good to talk about like I'm talking about right now, because I've never talked about it. I don't want to sit here talking negatively about my ex who I spent time with.
Interesting. Interesting about the text mixed up. That was, that certainly caught my attention. But yeah, the two of them have, talked a little bit about their breakups in the past, Kaitlyn more so than Sean, but it does seem like he thought that they were going to go into this breakup completely differently than they did. And it seemed like he really has not talked about it for a long time. And this is kind of like the first time he's really opened up quite a bit about it.
Yeah, they're one of those couples that like, it doesn't really matter how much time has passed. Like people still click. They still want to know there's something about them. I think they were together for 3 years. That's pretty long in the Bachelor world. Well, it was a very like well-watched season. It was very well received, very talked about. So I think that there's always going to be an interest there as much as they maybe don't want to. And then the fact that she ended up moving on with someone within the franchise, she's still very much associated with the franchise, talks about the show. So it makes sense. I do think it's kind of ironic, and he admitted it, like, I literally just texted her for the first time in 3 years saying, stop talking about me. And here I am on the 7th episode of my show talking about her. But on the other side, she's always talks about him. So why can't he not? He can too. I wonder what she thought when she saw those headlines come out, since she just got text from him being like, stop talking about me.
I'm sure it wasn't a positive conversation. All right, let's move on to our recap from episode 3. We kicked it off with Brayden having the one-on-one. I mean, we can all see that he is the actual worst, but she can't. They go down to San Diego. They have a fun day going to the ballpark to see where the Padres play. And, they seem like they have a nice connection. I don't know what she sees in him at all. I don't get it.
I don't really either. It's one of those things that it's kind of a weird one, though, because obviously I think he's the worst for sure. Yeah. But then the edit has to be playing somewhat into it because as he pointed out in this episode, when Aaron B got all invested and hurt and getting involved in it, I think that he is saying a lot of the things that he's saying to the guys to Charity, which we don't always see. Like, he is telling her his concerns. To me, she should just be like, okay, like, you're not what I'm looking for. If on week 1, you're like already skeptical about the process, like, I'd get it if it was like right before we were about to get engaged, you're getting nervous, you're having like doubts. But it's like, you clearly just don't really believe in the concept of the show. Right. So you should leave. But and he's saying that. So I think she should be like, okay, bye, versus like giving him all these passes. It's confusing to me. It's
really confusing, especially at the end too. She was like, am I going to take back his rose? Am I going to keep him? And I wonder if like producers are in her ear, like being like, keep him one more week. But like he's good TV. And I don't know. I just...
Yeah, I mean, you would think that, right? Because she almost like looks like she's in pain when she's like giving him things. But then during their one-on-one date, she didn't look like that.
Right. I mean, she's still like making out with him. So I mean, she must like him a little bit to be
not like
that.
a Chad villain where he's in the background, like whatever. Like, I don't remember Joe. I'm sure JoJo like spent some time with him, but he was on like group dates and stuff. He wasn't getting one-on-one.
Right. That's true. Yeah, no, that is true. And like several conversations in the group date too. So I guess she does definitely see something in him, but I mean, he's not going the distance. Let's just say that.
Speaking of JoJo and Jordan, we got a little cameo on the Barbie date. That was fun.
It is a Barbie world, and we are just living in it right now.
I know.
But I did enjoy this date. It was actually like really fun. All the guys dressed up like Ken, wrote a song, and they were pretty creative. Then Double Denim Ken won the group date.
Yes, he did. And I remember when I spoke to JoJo and Jordan about doing this a few weeks ago, they were like, Jordan was just raving about the guys, and they were like in awe of how much they committed to this, because I was singing in front of a lot of people.
None of them
really had the pipes. I wouldn't either, so no shade. But it was definitely like one of the situations where they put you in where it's like, I would die if I was on the show and they told me I had to do this. But they all like leaned into it. And even though I think it was Caleb who like had the singing voice, Sean, the Double Denim Ken, got the kiss, and he took the time. And it was the perfect mix of, he got to walk with her separately, but then the other guys still had time with her, which is just more fair on the group date.
Yes. It was a fun group date. Nice to see something a little bit different too. And I feel like they should do that more, like tie in like the movies and things like that. And I liked it. It was definitely good. And then we had, the one-on-one time during the group date. It seems like Dotun and Charity have this connection. For me, he is definitely an early front runner.
Yeah, I think so too. He was really sweet, and it just felt like for a second almost like we were watching a show where they knew each other already. Yeah. Like it was like a real deep conversation. I agree. I think he's got a shot for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. And then we had this very forgettable one-on-one with Warwick.
Oh my God, that was I'm like mind blown. That felt like they almost didn't even need to air it.
I was gonna say, why waste the airtime? Like nobody would have noticed that he was gone anyway.
How funny would that have been as the like little nugget at the end of the episode, like a 60-second version of that?
Yes,
like by the way, she went on this date. He didn't say anything. Like I almost like, did they do him dirty, or was it that awkward in real life? Because it was I don't know. Painful.
They have done it. Remember like Ari and Lauren, when they would go on their dates and like never say anything? We're like, oh, this is so painful. But now they're married, have 3 babies. So
True.
It could be the editing, but this was painful to watch.
And when he was like yawning in the limo, it's like, oh boy.
Like fell asleep.
That was a lot. Charity is going to be one of those bachelorettes who might, drop an L-bomb more than once. So here's what she had to say about falling in love with 2 men. We see a moment when you say you're in love with more than one person. What is a moment that you're of those, or anything we didn't see, that you're most anxious to relive? And do you still believe that you can be in love with more than one person?
Yes, I will answer that question first. You know what? I advise everyone, if you don't believe it, test it out for yourself. I don't know when you have the opportunity to be the Bachelorette or Bachelor, but like try it in the real world. You'll find out. Definitely is possible, considering circumstances and how much time we have to really just like truly focus on these connections. It is definitely possible. Something I actually did not think was going to ever happen. But most anxious about, I think when I have to get sassy, it's like, it's entertaining to say the least, but it's not fun. And so for me, I'm a little anxious of, having those moments play out where I'm like, you see me obviously say there's a rose on your chest, but I can truly take it back. And then just, so many moments kind of just come to form that one moment. So,
all right, well, we'll have to wait and see who it is. But moving on to our Bachelor Spotlight, we have a new Bachelor Nation baby. Jordan Kimball welcomed his first son. So cute. Thomas Austin Kimball, exclusive with Us Weekly. And, they had posted this photo, beautiful baby boy, happy, healthy, 8 pounds, 1 ounces, big boy, 21 inches. So they said that Christina, his wife, did so well, and everyone's very happy and healthy.
Yes, we have been through with Jordan through a lot on obviously Paradise, and all of that went down, and then Us Weekly broke the engagement with Christina. We had the wedding photos, the baby exclusive, and now the baby being born. So shout out to the Kimballs, congratulations. Thomas Austin, another little Bachelor baby.
Yeah, full circle. We've been through it all with him. I love to see it.
We have.
All right. Well, that is it for this week's episode of Here for the Right Reasons. Let us know in the comments what you think about Brayden. Who are your early front runners? Let us know, and we will see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.
For more news, content, and exclusive interviews, make sure to hit the sub, like, and bell button down below, and visit usmagazine.com.